I'm Landon.
I'm Courtney Grimes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So what is it that you do?
We're in defense contracting. We provide dogs to the military and federal government like you would see at the airports for TSA.
Cool. So what got you into that?
It's a long story. I think we only have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So the short story is that we saw an opportunity. We were already in the sector and we acquired a company that was based down in Auburn, Alabama. And from there we just kind of branched out into some of our contracts.
So you, before that company, what were you kind of doing? Were you already working with dogs, or
yes,
did that happen?
We were working with dogs primarily in Afghanistan for security. We had the contract for the ambassador's detail and camp integrity and some other things like that. But we kind of doubled down when we bought IK9 down in Auburn, Alabama.
Okay. So what's your background before that? What kind of degree does that kind of require, or what's the background to get to do something like that? Are you in the military, or how does that work?
Yeah, our primary company was military based, and we do a lot of governmental security as well. So it kind of like overlapped in that sector. And we're also a venture capital company, so we acquire other companies as well.
Okay, interesting. And you've done that for how long?
We've been doing this since 2009.
Okay, very cool.
How about you?
So I own a hair salon. It's called Wheelhouse Salon. It's in Homewood, and we have done that for about 3 years. I started that with my husband, Johnny, and was doing hair before that, just in town. I pretty much started doing hair from a child to now. So that's kind of what led us to do that. We, before that, had worked in salons and just kind of cut hair, and then sort of saw a vision to start our own business, primarily to invest in people and kind of train them up, teach them what we do, and to do it well and hopefully even better than how I do it, so that we can kind of build something that is meaningful and that's kind of long lasting. So
where in Homewood are you located?
We are on Landon Avenue,
Okay.
which is like kind of one street over from 18th.
Yeah.
There's a ton of salons over there. So we're kind of one of many, but I feel like we're pretty different. Kind of what we do, our culture is a little bit outside of the box. So we're in a little house there. It's really homey, but it's also really fashion focused, and as you can probably tell, that's kind of what I'm into. So it kind of fits into that. So yeah.
When did you decide that you wanted to go into business for yourself and open up your own salon?
It's kind of something I've thought about really since the beginning. I was pretty confident, about doing hair just in general. I knew that it was something I was good at, something that I like to do. So I guess off and on there was always an interest, like maybe I'll start my own business, but it seemed like a lot, because I have a family, and there's just a lot to that. So there were times where throughout the years, like I was like, oh, that's too much. I'm not in a place where I want to do that. And then, like I said, probably about 4 years ago, my husband and I really kind of started talking seriously about it. He is definitely very like entrepreneurial. He's very, geared that way. And so he kind of was pushing me a little bit to really explore what it would look like to do our own thing. And so I think that gave me the confidence to say, okay, I think I can do this. I can, again, especially if you make it about other people and not so much about yourself. If I looked at it from the perspective of, okay, I think I have something to offer other people, then it seemed much more doable than just like, oh, I want to have a one-man show, or, maybe you can relate to that as far as what you do.
Definitely.
So that's kind of where it began, and it's been really great.
I can definitely relate. When you have your own business, you're involved 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is no off time.
Yep.
If something happens or goes wrong, it stops with you. So
absolutely,
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. What would you say kind of made you sort of do your own thing? Was there like kind of one moment that made you say, all right, I'm ready to do this? Or do you feel like it was just a lot of things building up to that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things building up. I knew I couldn't sit in a cubicle all day, so I wanted to do a lot of different things, and one of my best attributes is my problem-solving skills. So I really wanted to utilize that, and with doing venture capital, and especially with dogs, there's something new. There's something new with that business every day. There's always somewhere to branch into or something to overcome. So I took it on as a kind of a challenge.
How many people do you kind of have working with you currently?
37.
Okay.
We have 37 people right now, and that's my biggest, not obstacle, but challenge is making sure that everybody gets along and that everybody's functioning as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's hard, especially the more that you get. How many people did you guys start off with? Was it small in the beginning, or did it start kind of with a large amount of people?
Yeah, when I acquired that company, they had 6 employees.
Wow, so it's grown significantly.
Yes, sure has.
Yeah.
How about you? How many employees do you have?
So we started with 3 people in the shop, working in the shop. It was myself and another hairstylist, and then we had a manager, kind of front desk person. So it was also very, very small. And now we have 3 apprentices, and we have I think 8 full-time stylists.
Wow.
And then we're also about to start another salon in downtown Birmingham on 3rd Avenue North. So it'll just be Wheelhouse downtown. So we're about to kind of grow the company even more. So yeah, we've had a lot of fast growth, especially for something that can only hold so many. I mean, that's pretty big, for, like I said, for a space that only holds so many people.
Every time I go to the barber shop, there's always something going on.
Yeah.
Always some good information.
Yeah.
And sometimes the how do you hold your team together working in such a confined space with so many unique personalities?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that, again, it sort of goes back to not necessarily making it about yourself, but making sure that everybody's getting what they need. And also I think that a lot of it just comes from my behavior. I'm the example, so I want to model how I want everybody else to kind of behave. So it's interesting that you kind of mentioned lots of different personalities. I think sometimes salons are sort of known for drama, so just making sure that you kind of keep your environment free of that and stay very positive, and like I said, and keeping focused on the idea that you're there to invest in each other. You're only as good as the person next to you. Kind of having those that kind of mentality, I think keeps drama down. And I think too, like people who come to work for you, they sort of get an idea of what you're all about. Right. You tend to draw people, I think, that kind of have a similar philosophy. So I imagine your profession is similar in that.
A lot of the same. We have some strong personalities. A lot of them come out of the military, and there's a lot of great stories there as well. What made you decide to come to Birmingham?
So I'm from here, born and raised. So is my husband. So I guess it was like a no-brainer. With what I do, you build up a clientele. You start somewhere, and then you just start kind of building yourself. So even when you work for somebody else, it's almost like you work for yourself because you're kind of building your name. So I just started here because this is where I'm from, and didn't really think that much about how that might lock me into one place. So I guess we could have like moved or done it somewhere else, but it just made sense to do it here because I already had such a clientele after so many years. And we really like Birmingham. I mean, it's growing a ton, as you know.
It is.
So it makes sense to stay here, especially in an industry like what I'm involved in. I feel like fashion is not necessarily what Birmingham is known for, or maybe even our art scene. I think we have a good one, but it's small. And so what I do kind of fits into that. So it makes sense to kind of stay somewhere, I think, where you can the sky's the limit, rather than taking that somewhere where maybe people have already kind of defined that scene for you.
Yes.
I feel like if we stay here, we can be a part of defining that. And so it just kind of makes sense. But also I just like it. It's comfortable to be here. It's a good place to live, so.
It is. It's a great place to live. Is that why you located your second shop downtown?
It is. So we were growing very fast. And again, kind of with the model or the idea that we would continue to invest in people, train people up, and that's how we were going to grow our business. We knew that at some point we would max out in our space, but we really like our space. It works. We've had a lot of success there. So the kind of the natural progression was we would do a second location, and then the discussion was where would we do that. And for us, I think it was pretty quickly determined that we would be in downtown, because I feel like that kind of parallels, there's growth in Birmingham, and there's lots of opportunity in Birmingham. And so, why not? I mean, we're from here. I feel like anybody that's from here has kind of experienced the highs and lows of downtown growth, and just all these, throughout, especially probably like the past 10 to 15 years, the whole idea of this is the year it's going to blow up, and then it doesn't. And but I really feel like now, for the first time, it really feels like all we're doing is just kind of going up and up. So it just seemed like a great opportunity to get in on the growth that's happening in the center, of kind of everything being in the heart of the city. Yeah. So how have you seen that? How have you seen the city's growth kind of affect what you do?
Well, like you just mentioned, we've been watching it for quite a few years. We saw how bad it was hurt when the banks had liquidity issues and all that was going on, because Birmingham was such a banking hub, and it's really recovered. And like you said, we kept watching, is it going to take off this year? And then when Regions Stadium came, that really helped. And I really think this year and this next year, it's going to really explode. And that really helps us, because it brings new businesses and gives new business opportunities, which we invest in. And our headquarters is here in Birmingham, and we love being here and working with the city and everything. But our facility where all our dogs are is in Anderson, at the old Fort McClellan that was brought back in '99, and it's just been sitting there vacant for 15 years. And so we were able to reutilize that property, and that's where our kennels are.
So do you think you guys will just keep the kennels there and then do more of the business side here in Birmingham?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we run our business out of Birmingham, and we'll keep our kennel facility up there for the most part, just because that's where we built all our infrastructure. But I don't see us moving our corporate office at all, just because we're in the middle of everything now. And there's, like you said, so much going on, and so many new businesses coming, so many new buildings and opportunities, that it's just great to be here in the middle of it all.
Where is your office located?
We just moved from 5th Avenue North to Beacon Parkway, which is kind of up there by the E Club. It overlooks all of Birmingham. So even if I'm having a bad day, I can look out my window, and it just puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, it's good to meet you. I've never met anybody that does what you do, so that was very interesting to hear about.
Likewise.
Yeah.